Kierra Coles, was seen on surveillance video making 2 ATM withdrawals at a business in the 8600 block of South Cottage Grove.
On here, she's fine. She walking, she doing her little shopping. She coming back. She went to her apartment. So, it was very, very emotional for me to see that.
She stepped out of her apartment, her growing belly a reminder of the life she carried inside her. A future mother, a dedicated worker, and a daughter who never failed to call home. Then she was gone. No struggle, no goodbye, just gone. October 2nd, 2018. A Chicago postal worker, 3 months pregnant, vanishes without a trace. No phone calls, no signs of distress, only silence. Security cameras capture her last known moments, walking to an ATM, withdrawing money. Hours later, her car is found parked. Wallet, phone, and lunch are still inside. The driver's seat? Empty. The person last seen with her? Walking away. Yet no arrest. No breakthrough. No answers. For 5 years, her mother has searched, replaying every conversation, every detail, every possibility. The one question that never stops echoing: where is Kierra Coles? Stay with this story. Every second counts. Every piece matters. And by the end, you may hold the missing piece. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Someone knows the truth. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, I truly appreciate you stopping by. If you love true crime stories that dig deep into real-life cases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And for those returning, I'm grateful for your support. Now, let's talk about one of the most heartbreaking cases you'll ever hear. Stay with me until the end. Kierra Coles wakes up in her Southside Chicago apartment. She should be heading to work at the post office. Her routine, her stability. But she makes a call. She tells her supervisor she won't be coming in. She's sick. Except, no one sees her looking unwell. No one hears her complain. So why? Outside her apartment, a figure appears on surveillance footage. A woman dressed in a postal uniform. The image is grainy, and the lighting is poor. It looks like her. It moves like her. But something is off. Was it Keirra? Or was someone wearing that uniform? Hours pass. The city moves on as if nothing is wrong. Keirra's phone, once constantly buzzing with messages from family and friends, remains quiet. Until 10:43 p.m. That's when she appears again, this time at an ATM. The camera catches her standing at the machine, withdrawing cash. Her posture is normal. No visible distress. She doesn't look around. A transaction like any other night. But this would be the last known footage of her. And then nothing. Not a call. Not a text. Not a single trace of her steps after that moment. Her car was found the next day, parked near her apartment. The doors locked. Inside, her phone, her packed lunch, her prenatal vitamins, items she never left behind. The passenger seat shows signs of use. The driver's side? Empty. Who parked that car? And more importantly, where was Keirra? A man is seen stepping out of the passenger seat, walking away, never looking back. He isn't carrying a bag. He isn't checking his phone. He moves with purpose. Days pass. No sign of struggle. No sign of life. Just a growing silence that fills every unanswered call, every door left unopened. Some say she ran away, that she chose to disappear. Maybe she just needed space. But does a woman, 3 months pregnant, excited for motherhood, vanish without a trace, without taking her phone, her money, or her own car? Or was someone else making choices for her? The answer is hidden in those final movements. The moment she walked away from that ATM, the second her car was parked, the instant the door shut behind the last person who saw her. And somewhere in between, something happened. Something only one person can explain. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happened next? The search for Kierra Coles began with confusion, then concern, then fear. Days passed, and no one had seen her. Her phone sat untouched. Her bank account remained frozen in time, last used at that ATM. Family and friends knew something was wrong. Then the footage surfaced. A man arrives at her apartment the night she disappears. The timestamp marks the evening of October 2nd, 2018. His movements are familiar, comfortable, like someone who has been here before. He doesn't knock. He lets himself in. Minutes later, Keirra steps outside. They get into her car. She's in the driver's seat. He's in the passenger's seat. The car pulls off into the night. That's the last time anyone sees her alive. Hours later, the car returns, but something has changed. The driver's side remains closed. No one gets out from that seat. Instead, the passenger door opens, and the same man steps out. Alone. He locks the car, walks into her apartment, stays inside. Then, without hesitation, he leaves in his own car. Keirra never comes back. Police question him. He gives an answer. Then another, and another. Each one slightly different, slightly off.
Questioned the person of interest after Keirra was reported missing. He gave varying accounts of the last time he saw her.
He claims he last saw Keirra at a different time, a different place. His words shift like sand, slipping further from the truth each time they are examined. He isn't just a random acquaintance. He isn't just some unknown man captured on a grainy surveillance tape. This man is believed to be Josh Simmons, Keirra's boyfriend, the father of her unborn child. And shortly after she disappears, he does too. Not missing, not lost, just gone, out of state, out of reach, out of sight. Her mother tries to call him. He doesn't answer. He doesn't explain. He never helps search, never organizes flyers, never asks the police for updates. He moves on. And yet, no arrest, no charges, just an open case, growing colder by the year. Chicago police say they need more evidence. That without direct proof, there's nothing they can do. But how much evidence is enough? A woman vanishes. A man changes his story. Her car is driven by someone else. Her life is left frozen in time. And still no justice. Was there something Keirra knew? Something she planned to say? Did she trust the wrong person? Or did she never see it coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this were someone you loved, what would you do? The days turned into weeks. The weeks stretched into months. Still no Keirra. No answers. But for one woman, the silence was unbearable. Karen Phillips, Keirra's mother, was not going to accept no leads as an answer. She refused to let her daughter become just another missing person. I don't know if she's dead or alive. I don't know if she's being harmed. And every single day, I have to live with that.
I pray every day for her to be safe, not being harmed. I hope her child is with her. I hope they both are doing okay. And I just hope soon this will be over.
She searched the streets, called the police repeatedly, and begged for updates that never came. She put up flyers. They were torn down. She reached out to the media. The coverage was brief. Other cases took the spotlight. Other names filled the headlines. And yet, Keirra, a pregnant postal worker, excited to become a mother, faded from the news cycle. But Karen wouldn't let her daughter be forgotten. The family raised money, offering rewards for any information. Tips trickled in. Some led nowhere. Others were chilling but unconfirmed. Still, no arrests. No suspects were named. No justice. And the question haunts Karen every night. Who is protecting the person responsible? Why hasn't the man last seen with Keirra been forced to give real answers? Why did he leave Chicago? Why did he stop answering calls? Why hasn't there been more pressure on law enforcement to act? Keirra's story matters. But cases like hers, black women who disappear without a trace, often don't get the attention they deserve. And that's why this story can't die here. If one person knows the truth, one tip can break the silence. If one person shares this story, it reaches someone who might recognize something. So don't let Keirra's name be another statistic. Drop a comment. Share her story. Keep asking questions. Because someone out there knows exactly what happened to Kierra Coles. And they think they've gotten away with it. Kierra Coles is one name, one story, one face among thousands. Every year, people vanish. Some cases grip the nation, dominating headlines for weeks, months, even years. Others fade before they're ever truly heard. And in that silence, a pattern emerges. At the end of last year, nearly 100,000 people were reported missing in the National Crime Information Center's database. Nearly one-third, 30,285, were black. Yet, how many of those names have you seen on the news? How many have you heard debated on primetime television? How many have received nationwide searches, billboards, or the relentless attention that turns up new leads? For too many black women, the answer is the same: not enough. Keirra isn't alone. Take Phoenix Caldon, a 23-year-old woman who vanished from Missouri in 2011. Her car was found abandoned, engine running, door wide open. No fingerprints, no trace, no answers. Or Akia Eggleston, 8 months pregnant when she disappeared in 2017, ready for her baby shower, excited for a new beginning. Instead, she was never seen again. 2 women, 2 different cities. Their cases shared a devastating truth: the urgency wasn't there. Their families screamed into the void, begging for attention, begging for answers. Just like Karen Phillips is doing now. If Keirra looked different, if her life fit a different narrative, would more people be asking where she is? Would there be more pressure on the last person seen with her? Would justice have already been served? The system claims to care. But over and over, the message is clear. Some lives are searched for harder than others. So what can be done? It starts here. Every shared post, every conversation, every time you say her name. Kierra Coles is still missing. So is Aka. So is Phoenix. And until the world stops forgetting, their families will never stop searching. Drop a comment. Tell us, why do you think some cases get more attention than others? And most importantly, why hasn't Kierra Coles been found? March 2025. Over 6 years have passed since Kierra Coles vanished. Despite the relentless efforts of her family and community, her whereabouts remain unknown. The case is still classified as open but cold by the Chicago Police Department. But this is not where her story ends. You, the viewer, have the power to make a difference. Here's how you can help. Share Keirra's story. Use your social media platforms to spread her image and story. The more people who know, the better the chances of uncovering new leads. Provide information. If you have any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, contact the Cook County Sheriff's Office at 773-674-9490. Your tip could be the key to solving this case. Support advocacy groups. Organizations like the Black and Missing Foundation work tirelessly to bring attention to cases like Keirra's. Supporting them amplifies the voices of the missing. Engage in the conversation. Discuss Keirra's case and others like hers. Keeping these stories alive maintains pressure on authorities and the media to act. Remember, behind every missing person is a family yearning for answers. Together, we can be the force that brings Keirra and others like her back into the light. Now we turn to you. What do you think happened to Kierra Coles? Do you believe the key to solving this case has been overlooked? Or is someone out there holding onto the truth, refusing to come forward? And here's something even bigger to consider. Why do certain cases make national headlines while others disappear into silence? Why wasn't Keirra's case treated with the same urgency as others? How can communities do better at standing with families who are searching for their loved ones? Drop your thoughts in the comments. No theory is too small. No voice is too quiet. And if you or someone you know has a personal story, another case that deserves more attention, share it. Let's build a space where these names are remembered, not forgotten. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more cases that need to be heard. Because somewhere out there, the answers are waiting. And together, we might just find them. Kierra Coles was 26 years old, excited to become a mother, and full of life when she vanished without a trace. Her case remains open, but after more than 6 years, the answers are still missing. We've walked through the details, her last known movements, the person of interest, the unanswered questions, and the heartbreaking silence that has followed. We've seen the broader pattern, how cases like Keirra's don't receive the attention they deserve, and how families are often left searching alone. But that doesn't have to be the end of her story. Justice isn't just about what law enforcement does. It's about what we do. Spreading awareness, sharing information, and keeping the pressure on can make all the difference. So don't let Keirra's name fade. Share this video. Talk about her story. If you have any information, report it. Thank you for watching, for listening, and for being part of the movement to bring Keirra, and so many others, home. If you want to see more stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going.